Jensen is here, of course, the CEO of Nvidia.
Today, without this one company, you can't even think of AI era. From OpenAI to Grok or autonomous vehicle, not even the most efficient and powerful gaming chips.
Nvidia has roughly 90% of the AI chip market.
As long as Nvidia is better than what we make, we'll keep buying from Nvidia.
This is the clear winner of every winner in the world of artificial intelligence. His company powers everything from OpenAI, Google's programs Meta.
This company is Nvidia, which powers not only today's AI era but popular giants like Google, Amazon, Netflix, and controls more than 80% of the market, who is now worth more than the entire GDP of countries like Japan, Germany, and India, making it the most valuable company in the whole history. But once upon a time, Jensen used to work as a dishwasher in his teens to manage expenses. And in 1996, this same old company was about to go bankrupt in just 30 days.
Every company makes mistakes, and I make a lot of them.
So, how did Jensen turn a failing company to a massive success who is now not only leading the market but dominating the entire AI era? So, let's get started. It all started in 1963 when Jensen was born in a city of Taiwan, and later his family moved to settle in Thailand. At the age of 9, due to civil unrest in Thailand, Jensen and his brother was sent to the US, where he attended reformatory school instead of traditional prep school, and was assigned to clean toilets every day. At the age of 15, he started working as a dishwasher and a busboy at a local Danish shop to manage expenses. And in 1984, he did graduation from Oregon State University and joined AMD as a microprocessor designer. After 1 year at AMD, he moved to LSI Logic, where he reached the position of Director of Coreware, while pursuing masters from the Stanford University. And now, this was year 1993 when Jensen Huang and his two co-founders Chris Malachowski and Curtis Pren met at local Denny's as usual to brainstorm ideas on what to build next. They would spend hours brainstorming ideas with a cup of coffee, but one day they realized the traditional chips back then could process only one task at a time, which was known as serial processing, and computers were meant for basic 2D browsing and managing spreadsheets. And if you want to play games that need millions and billions of small calculations per second, you need to buy separate gaming consoles. Here they thought if they could build a chip that could turn computer from general purpose machine to a multifunctional device which has 2D as well as 3D capabilities, which was later termed as GPU or graphic processing unit. And this was the birth of Nvidia, where NV meant for next version and Nvidia meant for NV in Latin. And ironically, Dennis was the same place where he used to work as a dishwasher in his teens. In fact, there is still a board at that place crediting Nvidia for their massive success. They didn't realize earlier, but no one from his team has management, sales, or company building experience. They were excellent at technicalities but terrible with sales and management. Without even properly completing the business plan, they first decided to incorporate the company, for which they called a lawyer on one of their meeting and paid $200 as legal fees, which also earned Jensen 20% of Nvidia shares. Later, Jensen used his connection with his former boss at LSI Logic, Wilf Corrigan, who helped him to secure initial $2 million funding from Sequoia Capital, even though without proper business plan. Here he also got a legendary line by Don Valentine: "If you lose my money, I'll kill you." It took Nvidia another 3 years to manufacture their first chip, the NV1. But this chip failed so miserably that their customer partner Diamond Multimedia returned 2,49,000 units out of 2,50,000. The problem with NV1 was it used curved quadratics instead of flat triangles to render objects. The logic was to create smoother objects with less quads than to use bunch of flat triangles which not even provide smoother objects. But just after NV1 was released, Microsoft launched their DirectX, a software API to build games, which standardized triangles to be used for rendering instead of quads. And suddenly, NV1 was no longer relevant. It's like writing a masterpiece in Latin when the whole world has suddenly decided to read only English. Another problem with NV1 was as it combined too many things in one chip, it made them larger as well as expensive than the competition. And due to this failure, Nvidia had to lay off 40 out of their 80 employees and they had just 30 days of cash left. But you know what? Nvidia couldn't survive this massive failure without this one company. Because during that time, Nvidia had partnered with Sega Genesis to supply them NV2 chips, which was also based on quadratics instead of triangles. So Jensen requested Sega CEO to release them from the contract, but with full payment. Normally, it made no sense to make payment without the work being done. But Sega, in the act of kindness, made the full payment and became their biggest savior at that point. But still, they aren't out of danger for long. Jensen had to pivot quickly to make Nvidia survive, and this time they decided they won't manufacture their chips themselves. Instead, became a fabless chip company who only designs chips, and it would be manufactured by TSMC to keep the cost down. And due to lack of time and money, Jensen this time decided they would manufacture chips without testing it on hardware, but only on the software. This move was so risky that if anything go wrong in the software by 1 nanometer, it would fail the whole chip, and Nvidia just can't afford another failure. But they took the risk and created the Riva 128. And this time, it worked. It was loved so much in the market that they sold nearly 1 million units in just 4 months of launch, making it the beginning for greatness. Again, in 1999, Nvidia launched their GeForce 256, which was an official graphic processing unit which made parallel processing and GPU popular in the market, helping them to partner with Xbox and go public in the same year. But just launching GPUs earlier didn't make Nvidia a huge company as it is today, but the vision of Jensen behind GPUs at that time. While most of the market saw GPUs correlated with games, Jensen knew that this technology can be later be used from simulating a disease to autonomous vehicle and most importantly the future of technology, artificial intelligence. They launched CUDA in 2007, which made it accessible to use GPU's full potential not just in gaming but in any field. And so far, Nvidia has launched products in many fields. Some failed, some succeeded. And eventually, we got a leader of AI era and a $5 trillion company.
What an amazing year!
But you know what? Today, Nvidia is said to use money loops to inflate valuation, which has also created concerns for AI bubble. To understand the whole story about AI bubble, watch this video. I'll see you there. Thank you.